Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the cottage. Happy holidays. 'Tis the season, right? Welcome to Auntie Karen Beyond the Cards. We're going to do a little chat, and I watched a chat early today on Rich's channel, on his chat channel, and there, I became inspired. I thought, it's time to share a little backstory of how my channel came to be and some backstory about how I even became interested in tarot on YouTube to begin with and how everything led to where I am right now. I'll try to keep this short, but this does have a lot of manifestation, and you will hear me talk about Rich Lopp a lot. Those of you, I know most of you know who he is, RICHLOPP, and you will also hear me mention Tyler from Tyler Tarot. And you will hear me mention Rose from Fierce Tarot as well. But, okay, shout out to those guys to begin with. So if you hear me talk about Rich, Tyler, or Rose, that's who I'm talking about. And I may mention others, but I know those three come to mind as being pretty key in my journey thus far. Okay, so with that being said, let me give you a little backstory, and I'll try to keep this as brief as I can. About 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I went through a really tough breakup, divorce, and it became my catalyst, as many of you know, for me even figuring out so much in my own spiritual journey. For the first year after that, I had more questions than answers. I was completely lost. I, was relying on all the answers that I had been taught my whole life as far as how to heal, how to recover, and nothing was working. I was literally miserable. I was stuck. I lost a lot of weight, couldn't sleep, absolutely just existing. And like a zombie, really, just like The Walking Dead, But I began to question everything, all of my beliefs. Why do I, this isn't working, so why am I doing this? And what am I really supposed to, how in the world am I supposed to deal with this? And this became my tower. Were there other things along my journey before this that should have been towers? Yes. The divine had been trying to get this girl's attention a long time. And, sometimes it takes a tower when we just don't listen. And that certainly is my story. So fast forward, about a year after the divorce, I got very interested in tarot. Because of many people, I wanted my ex back, okay? I chased this man for a good 2 years, okay, after the divorce. Made a complete fool of myself. But, we've all been there. So, I'm not throwing shade at anybody else who does those things either. But this is my story. This is my journey. I literally became the definition of and the epitome of what Rich often says is what you chase will run from you. Well, I have proven that. Oh boy, have I ever. But anyway, I started watching tarot, and the first two readers I came across were Rich and Tyler. And, I was constantly watching their readings, looking for some shred of, that my ex was going to return. And I booked several readings with Rich, is the cancer going to return? Is the cancer going to return? And bless his heart, he was so compassionate in those readings. But it always was the same. And then I got, pretty early on in that second year, I got caught up in the twin flame toxic teachings. And I just, and let me tell you, that dynamic the catalyst that I now refer to, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm very grateful for that connection and why it happened and everything that happened. There's a much bigger picture there if you just take a step back, which took me a while to be able to do. But at any rate, I digress. I started watching the twin flame community. I got all caught up in that and was just convinced that he was going to come back and all of this kind of thing. And I thought Rich was nuts, because he would always tell me that the cancer wasn't coming back whenever I booked readings with him and such. And then I kind of start to realize, something ain't right about this. And so I started working on myself a little bit, and I started really kind of listening to Rich. And when I first met Rich, I thought, I never met him still. But when I first came across Rich, I thought he was nuts. I really did. And I said, this guy's full of shit. I really did, okay? Time marches on. Rich, and he doesn't even remember how we connected. We became friends on Facebook after I found him on YouTube, because he started, several years ago, he started doing mini reads on his YouTube business account live, right? And people could book mini readings with him through his PayPal, and he would do mini readings on that particular platform. And I became a mod there. And so I was like, okay, started listening to him a little bit. And I'm like, well, maybe he ain't so crazy after all. I mean, he's starting to, he's kind of making sense a little bit. But I mean, I was still scratching my head a lot. Well, anyway, back in 2019, and I know he probably doesn't remember this, I reached out to him. And I don't bother him a lot. He's a busy guy. I cannot imagine managing these large channels like these folks that I just talked about, like they do that. But at any rate, I reached out to him and I said, I'm thinking about starting a tarot channel. What do you think? Do it. That was and I thought he was going to say, oh no, he's like, no, we need more readers to really get out there and tell the truth. Yes, do it. Follow your passion. Well, I didn't do it. I was like, I can't do this. And I was working full-time as in the accounting field. Many of you know I have a degree in accounting, 35 years of experience. I was in senior management level positions at that time. And at that time, I had a pretty decent job. I was, fairly over, somewhat over the 6-digit mark. And had good benefits and stability. I was working a lot of overtime. And of course, on that level, it doesn't matter how many hours a week you work, your paycheck's the same. But hey, it was fine because I was making bank, okay? So anyway, I've never really liked accounting. Okay, I'm good at it, but I don't like it, okay? So with that being said, fast forward to 2020. In May, I lost my job due to COVID. Okay, due to the economy, long story short. And it was 13 months after then that I received unemployment, okay? Long after I needed it. I was well into self-employment on my channel when I got that lump sum payment. So I went all that time without any unemployment. There was plenty of money there, but the staff at the unemployment in that state, okay, were so backed up that it took them that long to process my unemployment claim. And so I was 13 months with basically, I was just kind of can to cane. And I, did a lot of side work and a lot of consulting as an accountant and freelance stuff as best I could. But, with the pandemic, so many businesses were closed. Nobody had much of a need for a consultant to come in when places were basically closed. So I did do some work from my home, that is true, and I got bored and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this channel. And my bestie, who is one of my mods when he comes in on occasion, really encouraged me to start a channel. And I'd been reading, for folks, just playing around and for free and for myself. And I'd been doing a lot of reading here and there. I had never charged for readings ever. I was just doing them for fun. And, but I really started to study the cards. And so in August, late August 29th, I started my channel. Many of you OGs know some of the rest of this, but not all of it. But I had lost my job. Well, the first week I decided I'm not going to show my face. I'm just going to be completely anonymous. Well, you guys know me well enough to know how long that lasted. Literally about a week. And I busted up right in front of that camera after that. I think about 2 weeks in, I had maybe 12 subscribers, and they were all just my friends that were just kind enough to subscribe, okay? And I would get like 2 and 3, views per video, and every additional subscriber, my daughter and I would literally just have a celebration when it went from 12 to 13 to 14, right? And so I really started working Law of Attraction right after I had lost my job, the teachings that I had learned from Rich, and the way that I manifested money during the time I was unemployed, holy crap, it is just, and look, I'm not special. No one is. Is it magical? Kind of, yes, but we're all capable of doing that, okay? But I had no choice, okay? I had to learn. Okay, the divine threw me in the deep end and said, you're going to learn how to manifest money. You're going to learn that you can't depend on an employer. Just because you think you're employed, that doesn't mean you've got, financial security. So yeah, it was literally, I don't know where, I got to the point, I had no choice but to go, I don't know where my next dime is coming, but somehow I will make it. I know that. Okay, and it always did. It was crazy how that happened, okay? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay. Well, I decided I would do a video about law of attraction and manifestation. And I talked about love. I talked about money. It was just very general. And it was just the basic concepts of, law of attraction, manifestation. It was stuff I'd learned from Rich. And I had to give him a shout out because it was his teachings that equipped me to be able to survive in those months, okay? And so, I knew it was true. I believed it. I had seen it, okay? And so I thought, I hate to bother Rich. He's a busy guy, but I'm going to send him, this link, right? And I said, I know he probably won't watch it. He's busy. And I said, but I have to send it because I had given him such a big shout out in that video. And so I did, and I didn't think any more about it. That was, I don't know what time of day it was. And then I can't remember now, but it seems like either it was the next morning or my daughter and I had gone out somewhere. And I had not been paying attention for, a good many hours, 4, 5, 6, or 7 hours to my channel. And when I came back, I had a notification that Rich had shared my video. And I had over 300 subscribers. And before that, hours before, I had like less than 20, okay? And people were watching my readings, and I thought, oh my God, this might really happen. It was crazy. Okay. Well, and Rich did that several other times, and he was so encouraging. And Rich was very good. I mean, I tried not to bother him a lot for advice because he's busy, but he was so kind to if I had a question, okay, about YouTube or, guidance. And there's other videos that he's done publicly that he's given great advice that, that about titles of videos and how often you do videos and how many a day you should shoot for, stuff like that, okay? He's very generous with his knowledge. He's not competitive, and I appreciate that. And so, he's like me. There's enough pie for all of us to eat, right? Okay, but finally, that was August 29th when I started my channel. So finally, around the end of 2020, I know it was after Christmas, I finally got to 1,000 subscribers. And I was so excited. Now, in order to monetize on YouTube, you have to have not only 1,000 subscribers, you have to have 4,000 watch hours, okay? And I did not have the 4,000 watch hours until probably, I don't know, I would have to say maybe late January or something of that nature. Now, let me go back to the end of December. I was working, I had gotten temporary employment at that time. I was working a lot of hours, and I had not yet monetized. I just had 1,000 subscribers. I was doing a few personal readings here and there, maybe one every couple of weeks or something like that, okay? And I wrote out on December 27th of 2020, and I have it on my phone. I've shared this on my community page on my main channel, Enchanted Cottage 333. And I wrote this out, and I said, I am self-employed as a full-time YouTube tarot reader, and I'm doing what I love. I'm following my passion, and I'm helping people heal and grow and learn. I'm divinely guided. I'm growing and learning every day. And trust and believe, I knew enough about manifestation because I had seen it work, okay, before, that I knew I could do it. Did I know how it was going to happen? No. But I knew that even back, when I had lost my job due to COVID, I didn't know how it would happen then either. But somehow, it just always did. It just always did because I just had to believe. I mean, I had no choice but to put my faith in the divine and take my hands off and let it happen. I mean, I took action. I didn't sit on the couch and eat bonbons, okay? But the way that I manifested work to do from an accounting standpoint during that period, you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe the synchronicities and the seemingly serendipitous moments that occurred along my path that put me in places where, well, this person needs this work and this person needs help with this. Can you do this for them? And I'm like, yeah, I got this. You know, I can do it. I can write policies and procedures, right? I can do all this stuff. Well, so fast forward it was early in 2021. I can't remember the exact month. I finally reached 4,000 hours. By this time, I had moved in with my dad because I had lost, you know, the temporary job had played out. I had moved in with my dad, who at that time, well, and still, where he lived, okay, there was no internet available for any price, none. I'm talking back in the middle of nowhere. And we looked into everything. I looked into getting a booster on the house, but you have to have enough signal to boost. And every test we did, there wasn't even enough signal to boost. Okay, when I was there, I couldn't even watch a YouTube video. So like if Tyler went live, I couldn't watch. If Rich went live, I couldn't watch. I had to get in my car and drive 15 minutes from my house to the nearest town. So what I would do every day during that time, I would record videos, and then I would drive to town and sit in the parking lot where there was free Wi-Fi for a couple hours and upload. Okay, and during that time, I was also trying to look for a job and caring for my very sick dad, who was really beyond. He really needed to be in assisted living, but would not agree to it. And here in my state, there was nothing I could do. I could not force that. It was completely his call. At 87, he had been told many times not to drive. He was still driving. Dementia was already a diagnosis, and it was, oh my God, it was, you wouldn't believe the experiences that I went through even with that, okay? So, he had a stroke. He wound up having no choice but to go to assisted living. And right after that, I couldn't find a place to rent anywhere that had internet available. I had the money. Because trust and believe, after this point, let me go back. So I got my 4,000 hours. I applied for monetization. I got rejected. YouTube does not tell you why. They just reject you. And there is no customer support for creators who are not monetized yet. So there was no way, it was a guessing game. Finally, I'm still not sure I fixed the right thing. I fixed a lot of stuff. I revamped description boxes, search tags, everything you can imagine about my channel. I revamped it all. I watched videos about what could have caused the rejection and that sort of thing. And you have to wait 30 days to reapply. I waited my 30 days, I reapplied, I got monetized. I was still running the roads to get videos uploaded. I couldn't go, the only way I could go live was to go live from my car. And so next thing I know, Tyler is offering to do collabs with small channels. Well, by this time I had gotten up to 2,500 subscribers, right? And man, let me tell you, I found that out, I wouldn't leave Tyler alone. And, I later found out from him that the reason he decided to do a collab with me is because I was so persistent, right? But I did the collab with Tyler, let me back up. So I get a job offer, right? During the time that Tyler and I are kind of communicating back and forth about trying to figure out the collab and all this. And he was traveling and I was traveling. And I even thought, well, this ain't gonna happen, but that's okay, whatever. And so, because I just didn't think we would be able to coordinate our schedules, right? And so, with that being said, I got a job offer. And can I tell you, it was from a gravy company, one of the best companies in my town to work for. Whoa, it was well on the other side of the 6 digits. More money than I would have ever made. Fantastic benefits. Progressive company. Nice, progressive co-workers with a good head on their shoulder, and I thought, this is it. I have manifested the best job offer ever. And I was excited. And I started to work on a Friday. And that Saturday, after my first day of work, my daughter and I were in the mall, and we were shopping. And I get a message from Tyler. And trust and believe, the mall is 1 hour from where I was living at the time, which was the Boondocks still, right? And the only way I could go live or collab was from my car. I get a message from Tyler out of the blue. You want to collab right now? I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I said, Tyler, can you please give me an hour and a half? I needed to get home and get my cards and get in my car and get to where I could get internet from my car, right? And bootleg. I was so stoked and I was scared to death. Many of you know that. I was absolutely almost, I mean, I was so nervous. My daughter was in the car with me during that live. And had I known that that video was going to get over 100,000 views, I probably really would have been freaking out. But I didn't even have the time to think, which was, I'm really glad I didn't have time to think about it, because I would have probably been so, you know, I don't know, right? So I walked into that Saturday night and I did a collab with Tyler, and I had 2,500 subscribers. In 48 hours, I had over 5,000 subscribers. And I thought, oh my God. But here was the crazy part. You know, Tyler doesn't do personal readings. And so I got bombarded. In 2 weeks' time, at $50 a pop, I guarantee you I did $10,000, $11,000 worth of personal readings. And many of you remember that are OGs with me, I got laryngitis from doing so many readings. And remember, I couldn't upload from my dad's. So I would do 4 or 5, drive to town, upload them, go back home, do 4 or 5, drive to town, go back home, do something for my channel, upload to my channel, drive back home. I was going nonstop. I mean, nonstop. So it was crazy. And I knew when I went to work Monday, I was still getting blown up with personal readings being booked. And I thought, okay, I can't do this. I mean, there was no physical way a person could have worked a full-time job and held the load. And I'm not doing that many now, but I just got I mean, I'm doing plenty now, but not to that level, okay? Now it's manageable and it's fine. But at that time, I thought, I was faced with this. I said, I've either got to refund about $10,000 right now and stay with a job that looks great on paper, that's stable and benefits, or I've got to take a complete blind leap of faith. And I thought to myself, I will never have this chance again. And I knew I couldn't even work a notice there. Of course, I was brand new, so it was probably fine. I couldn't even work a notice. I couldn't work another day. And I knew that. I could not give them one more minute, okay? So, and I contacted Tyler and I said, what do I do? And he said, let me tell you something. The best thing that ever happened to me was when I got fired for being late from so-and-so job. And he was telling, you know, and I know a lot of you know his story. And I was like, it tells me that was confirming what I knew. And had I not made that decision, it would have been disastrous, because events that followed, I needed the flexibility that being self-employed and making your own way gave me. Had I been working full-time at that job, I would have had to quit because of my dad's health issues and some other things that kind of went along the way. Okay, so fast forward. I then am full-time YouTube, and that was back in February, probably late February, okay? And I manifested a house to live in. I couldn't find anywhere because there was nothing on the market to rent, okay? Nothing. And the serendipitous way that I found this house, you guys would not believe. I literally walked into the phone service store and I asked the clerk, or I mentioned in passing that I was looking for a place to rent. I said, you don't know anybody, do you? And she said, well, I know this guy's got a house, but I don't think he wants to rent it. But, you know, it's his mother's house, and he lives in, you know, Washington State, but I'll see. And long story short, here I am. It wasn't even on the market, okay? Was not even on the market. And so, you know, then about, that was in, I think I moved here in May or June. I'd have to go back and look. And then in July, I hit 10,000 subscribers. And moments before I started doing this video, I'm at 18,300. And so understand this, I am not special. Anybody can do this, and I am very, very grateful. I would not be here if it weren't for the people who watch me, subscribe, comment, who like, the mods, of course, on my channel. But manifestation is always working, okay? And if we learn to become skilled energy workers, you can do this. And trust and believe. Have I written out stuff that I'm going to do in 2022? Sure have. It works. It's an affirmation, okay? Everything on my list for 2021 has happened. Yes, it has. A lot of it early in the year, like way earlier than I thought it would, and in ways that who would have ever dreamed I would have collabed with Tyler, okay? Who would have ever dreamed that, okay? And so, at any rate, you know, it's crazy because now, for the first time in my life, I actually have a financial cushion. And I have, let me tell you something, I have everything I want. When I got that lump sum of unemployment, finally, 13 months after I had applied for it, by then I was self-employed, living here, making my way. I had a cushion in the bank, so it just became more cushion, okay? When I got that lump sum, and it was nice, okay, because it was for the better part of 2021, and it had that federal thingy to it, right? So, and I learned then you cannot rely on the government either. You know, don't think the government is going to save us. They're not. No. And there's no free money. There's not. I know that too. But at any rate, this lump sum of money comes out of nowhere, right? And I was like, well, I tell you what, Karen. I had a conversation. I said, Karen, let's treat yourself. What do you want? What do you want? What is it that you want? Go get to whatever you want. I couldn't think of anything. Because why? Because, I mean, honestly, the way that I learned from Rich, easiest way to not have, if you're tired of worrying about money, then just stop. Okay? And I know that sounds simple, but it's just that simple. Okay? It really is. Stop worrying about it. You know, don't sit there and compare, you know, the different brands of English peas. You know, buy them when you want. Don't worry about it, okay? Get what you need, okay? Get what you need. Don't struggle over 2 cents. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a Maserati, okay? You know, use a little bit of common sense, but I mean, come on now. Is there anything right now that I want that I don't have? One thing, and I'll tell you, I want to get a small piano for this house, okay? My mother has a baby grand that's still at my dad's house. It won't fit here, but it's mine. I could have it if I wanted it. But what am I going to do with a baby grand piano? I don't have room for it, and it's just too big to move around, and I'm not going to stay in this house forever. I know that. I'm manifesting another house now. That's another thing. But at any rate, but the only reason I don't have that piano is just because I haven't had time to go shop for it. That's the only reason. Is the money in the bank that'll cover it? Damn skippy it is, okay? Yes. Am I rich? In my opinion, I got everything I want and need. I feel rich. I don't want for anything. If I want a new pair of jeans, I go buy it. If I want a new pair of shoes, I go buy them. If I want a shirt, I go buy it, okay? I've got, and I don't need any more. I mean, I'm fine. I've never felt rich my entire life, ever, until now. And it's a mindset. That's all it is just a mindset. And I ain't all that special. If anybody tells you that they have some kind of special abilities that are above and beyond the norm, they are blowing smoke up your ass. And you can believe it if you want to. Then you can make that your reality. It's not my reality, I'll tell you that. And it doesn't have to be yours. That's on you. It's your decision. I can't say. But anyway, wanted to share all of this with you guys. Rose, I ran across later, after I had run across Tyler and Rich, of course. I had heard of Fierce Tarot, but I didn't really know anything about her, and I had never really watched her, you know. And I said, well, I'm going to watch her, and I said, well, who's this chick in the ball cap? And then it turned out she's a May Gemini, just like me. And I thought, wow. And then I got to watching her, and I thought, well, she's pretty good reading. And the next thing I know, she's sharing my videos, and I'm like, whoa. And Rich, even recently, has shared stuff for me, and I couldn't be more. The people that have given me a leg up along the way. There is no way that I could repay in any there, because the things that those folks did were game changers, life changing. It was that Ace of Wands moment that I had to step through and grab it while it was there, and I did. But that opportunity, I didn't know if it would ever come around again, and I knew it's time. It's go time. It is now. You got to do this now. You got no time to think about it. You just got to go on intuition and go. And that's exactly what I did. And those folks, I can't, all I know to say to those folks is thank you. But that, in spite of the fact that I'm a Gemini, I'm a logophile, which is a lover of words, I've yet to come up with words to express the gratitude to those individuals who have given me a leg up and gotten my name out there. Now, okay, the opportunity was there. I had to do the work. Yes, okay. I manifested the opportunity, but then I had to keep staying consistent and, doing videos. And look, let me tell you something. You think it, and I love what I do. I wouldn't do anything else. And I love, I don't feel like I work, but at the same time, it is work, and that I have to constantly do energy work to keep myself fresh. Because look, the times that y'all need to hear from me the most are the times that the energies are the wackiest, okay? I can't waffle on you then. I got to be here. I got to show up. I got to be consistent, right? Because if I can't show up when you need me the most, I'm not really helping you. No, I'm not, right? Along this path, were there times that I felt like giving up? Of course. But then I would sit there and somebody would comment on a video and it would just hit me right in the heart. And it was just like, you have no idea how much you've helped me, and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm not the end-all be-all. Oh, I am still learning. Trust and believe. Since I started this channel, that's another thing. The universe has put me in fast-forward mode in my healing and in my energy work and in my ascension and in my learning. I just thought it felt like a roller coaster before. I had no idea. Can I tell you that I am so happy that it happened? Because even though it has felt like a roller coaster, it has been a bumpy ride. The resulting peace and happiness and joy and self-awareness that has occurred in my own life as a result of starting this channel and being challenged to show up every day with fresh energy for y'all, it's like it's go time. It's do it or not. It's like Nike, just do it, right? There was no other options. I just had to do it. It's like, you just got to do it. And so I did, right? I can't let these energies get to me. I can't do that. I got to stay on top. I'm not saying we don't feel them. Sure, we feel them. Okay, the moon, full moon. You think the moon doesn't affect you, and what percentage of our bodies is water? Come on now, and it controls the tide. You don't think we feel it? Of course we do. But this is the thing that I like about the folks that I just mentioned. I mean, they do the energy work. They show up every day. How are they able to do that? Because they do it every day consistently. And so when then they come into these places where the energies get crazy and they come into that, then they're prepared for them. They're energetically prepared. And that's my goal. And that's what I work for. Am I better at it now than I was a year ago? Heck yeah. I hope next year I look back at where I am right now and I think, wow, I'm going to tell you, I look at readings I did a year ago and I'm just like, oh my God, that's horrible. Because we learn and we grow. We grow as readers. We become better readers. Hopefully, we become more skilled energy workers. Okay, we learn how to navigate these crazy ass energies and these energetic shifts that are going on right now. Okay, sometimes we may not understand them, and that's okay. We don't necessarily have to. We just got to be, on our energetic toes. On the daily. That's what this is about. So anyway. Long video, didn't mean for it to be this long, but it's a long story. I hope I come here this time next year and I have some exciting updates for you as far as events over the past 12 months, right? Many blessings. I am so grateful for each and every person who subscribes to my channel, likes, comments, and I'm really looking forward to when I can go live and do Soul Fam chats on this channel. That's why this channel actually exists. I'll do stuff like this from time to time, and I know I haven't been as active on here, but I've been getting a lot of downloads. Oh man, I've been really, and many of you can tell that from my main channel, the community page there. So at any rate, I wish you all so much blessings going into 2022. And if you want it, just make it happen. Okay? I ain't all that special. I'm just a girl with a dream. Just a girl with some goals. Right? I love you guys. Many blessings.